And welcome. So have you ever been deep in SAP trying to create a material and you just get stuck? You're staring at the screen wondering why some fields are mandatory and others aren't? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to master a core SAP feature called field selection. And trust me, getting this right is the key to cleaner data, faster processes, and just way less confusion for your users. So let's dive in.
You know that feeling, right? You're creating a new material, and you see it. Some fields have that little check mark, basically screaming for an entry. Other fields are totally grayed out, and some, well, they just seem to be missing altogether. So what's the deal? I promise you, it's not a glitch. It's actually a really powerful feature, and it's working exactly as it's supposed to.
And the secret behind all this is something called a field reference. Think of it as the master control panel, the rulebook that dictates the entire user experience for the material master. And in this explainer, we're going to learn exactly how to use it. So, here's our game plan. We'll start by solving that field control mystery. Then we'll dig into what field references actually are. After that, we'll see how to lock down critical data. And finally, we'll get to the fun part, customizing your own selections. It's a straight shot to becoming a field control pro.
All right, let's get right into it. We're about to pull back the curtain and really understand the logic that controls what you see and, just as importantly, what you don't see on your screen.
So, what in the world is a field reference? Well, to put it simply, it's a key. It's a simple code that tells SAP how to treat every single field in a material master record. Should a field be completely hidden? Should it be display only? Does it have to be filled out, or is it just optional? The field reference has all the answers.
Now the good news is SAP comes with a few of these already configured right out of the box. You'll see ones like SAP 1 and SAP 2 for standard industry solutions and SAP R for retail. Now listen closely. The most important advice here is avoid changing these. Seriously, think of them as the system's baseline. The one you want to pay attention to is KIP. That's your playground, your sandbox, specifically designed for you to customize for your company's needs. And here's a fantastic pro tip for you. Before you even think about changing anything, you need to know what the impact is going to be, right? Well, there's a great tool called the Where Used list. It'll show you every single place a field reference is being used, whether it's assigned to a material type, a plant, you name it. It's kind of like your safety check before you make any moves. Okay, let's build on that. Field control isn't just about setting things up from the start. The system is also really smart. It can protect your data integrity by dynamically changing and locking fields based on other things you enter. Let's see how that works.
This is where SAP gets really clever. Some fields aren't just static. They actually react to what you're doing. This is what we call a logical dependency, and it's an incredibly powerful way to make sure your data quality stays high. Let's walk through a classic example. Picture this. You're in the MRP 1 view of the material master, and you're about to choose a lot sizing procedure. And you go ahead and you select the code FX, which tells the system you want to use a fixed lot size for your planning. Simple enough? Now, watch what happens next. Boom! Just like that, the fixed lot size field changes. It's not optional anymore. Now it has that little mandatory check mark. The system is smart enough to know that, hey, if you chose FX, you must tell me what that fixed lot size is. It's a perfect example of this logical dependency in action, making sure your data is always complete. So what's the magic behind this? Well, on the back end, in what we call customizing, these fields are defined as lock-relevant fields. It's worth noting that this dynamic locking feature is for the standard SAP industry solutions. It works a little differently in SAP for retail. And this whole idea of locking applies more broadly too. When an entire material master record gets locked, any field that's been flagged as lock-relevant becomes unchangeable. So in its normal unlocked state, the field is ready for you to type in. But once that record is saved as locked, those same fields get grayed out. You can't edit them until the lock is reversed. Of course, you can't just have anybody running around locking and unlocking critical master data. That would be chaos. This is all controlled by a specific security rule, an authorization object called m_mate_maf. Activity 16 lets a user lock a material, but, and this is the important part, they need a different one, Activity 51, to reverse that lock. It's a really key security control for keeping your data safe.
And now, for my favorite part. We've gone through the concepts, so let's put this knowledge to work. This section is all about how you can take control and really tailor the system to fit your company's unique processes.
So, how do you actually do it? It's really a simple three-step process. First, step one is to identify. You have to start with your business process. What information is absolutely critical? Which field needs to be mandatory to stop errors from happening down the line? Step two, adjust. This is where you go into the system's back end, into customizing, and you modify that special KB field reference we talked about. This is where you set your new rules. And finally, step three, assign and test. You assign your new field reference where it's needed, maybe to a specific material type or a plant. And then, the most important part, test it, and then test it again. Make sure it works exactly the way you want it to.
And there you have it. That's how you take control of the material master using field references. You now have the power to make your data entry more accurate, way more efficient, and perfectly designed for your business. So I'll leave you with a thought. Now that you have the keys, what's the very first process you'd want to streamline at your company? Let's be honest.